They warned me before I ever set foot on the diplomatic ring of the Aurelian conclave. Do not approach the Queen of Kether. Do not speak to her unless spoken to. Do not, under any circumstances, sit near her. Every species in the known galaxy agreed on that much. Queen Velith the Unbroken was ancient, terrifying, and powerful enough that entire star systems adjusted their orbits to avoid provoking her empire. The Ketheri were not loud conquerors, they were patient ones. Their queen embodied that patience, cold, distant, watching civilizations rise and fall like seasonal weather. And I, Lieutenant Marcus Hale of the United Terran Coalition, was told very clearly to stay away from her. Which would have been easy, if she hadn't chosen the seat beside mine. The conclave chamber was massive, a circular amphitheater floating in open space, ringed with force fields and light. Delegates from 100 worlds occupied levitating platforms arranged by status and threat index. Humans were new. Not weak, but unpredictable. That alone made us dangerous in the eyes of older races. My assigned seat was far from the center dais, exactly where you'd put a species you weren't sure you trusted yet. I sat down, adjusted my uniform, and reminded myself that I was here to observe, not speak. That's when the chamber went quiet. Not the polite silence of diplomacy, the heavy silence. I looked up. Queen Velith had entered. She did not float like the others. She walked, each step deliberate, her tall frame wrapped in living obsidian armor that shifted like liquid shadow. Her crown hovered above her head, a halo of fractured crystal burning with dim violet light. Her eyes, 4 of them, glowed faintly as they scanned the chamber. Predatory. Calculating. Terrifying. Every delegate leaned subtly away from her path. Every delegate except me, because I was too stunned to notice. And because the seat beside mine was empty. She stopped, turned, and sat down next to me. The chamber erupted into whispers so quiet they were almost painful. My heart slammed against my ribs. Every instinct screamed move. Apologize. Get up. Prostrate myself. Do something. But I didn't. Human training drilled one thing into us above all else. Don't show fear unless it serves a purpose. So I stayed seated. Queen Velith folded her long limbs gracefully, armor settling with a soft, unnatural sound. She was close enough that I could feel a strange pressure in the air, like standing near a storm that hadn't decided whether to break. You are human, she said. Her voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Yes, Your Majesty, I replied, keeping my tone even. You were warned not to sit near me. I was warned not to approach you, I said carefully. You approached me. Silence. Then, something unexpected. Amusement. One corner of her mouth twitched upward. For the rest of the opening session, she remained beside me. Delegates spoke. Treaties were debated. Borders were argued over with words sharp enough to cut stars in half. Through it all, I felt her gaze flick toward me again and again. Finally, she spoke softly, so only I could hear. Your species does not recoil. We do, I said. We just decide when. Her eyes brightened. The conclave recessed after the first cycle. The moment it did, 3 different ambassadors rushed toward me, their faces pale, their translators buzzing in panic. What did you do? Why would she choose you? You must move now before she. A single glance from Queen Velith silenced them all. She stood. So did I, automatically. You will walk with me, she said. It was not a request. Her private gallery overlooked a star cluster slowly collapsing into a newborn sun. The view was beautiful in a violent, humbling way. Ketheri queens do not choose seats at random, she said, facing the stars. I figured, I replied. She turned, all four eyes locking onto me. Then why did you remain? I considered lying. Then remembered who I was speaking to. Because if the strongest being in the room sits next to you, I said, standing up sends the wrong message. She stared at me for a long moment. Then she laughed. A real laugh. Low. Powerful. Shockingly warm. You are either brave or foolish, human. History says it's usually both. Over the next cycles, something unprecedented happened. Queen Velith continued to sit beside me. Every session. Every council. Every debate. She asked questions not of the chamber, but of me. About Earth. About human wars. About why humans fought for ideals instead of territory. I answered honestly. About loss. About resilience. About how humans had nearly destroyed themselves more than once and chose, stubbornly, to keep going anyway. Other species watched in disbelief. Some in fear. Some in dawning understanding. The crisis came on the 7th cycle. An ancient weapon platform left behind by a long-dead precursor race activated beyond conclave space. Its first test shot erased a moon. Panic followed. Species demanded evacuation. Retaliation. Preemptive surrender. Queen Velith stood. The chamber stilled. This weapon cannot be negotiated with, she said. It must be destroyed. Several delegates protested. The energy required. The casualties. She turned to me. Human, she said. What would your people do? Every eye in the chamber burned into me. I stood. We'd send a small team, I said. We'd get close. We'd accept the risk. And we'd end it before it ended us. Silence. Queen Velith studied my face. Then nodded. The mission was hell. A joint task force led by Ketheri warships, human strike pilots, and volunteers from species who had never fought side by side before. The weapon adapted. Shields shifted. Losses mounted. At the critical moment, when the final charge had to be placed manually, the automated systems failed. I didn't hesitate. I went out in a suit, guided by human stubbornness, and Ketheri precision beamed directly into my mind through Queen Velith's link. When the explosion hit, I barely made it back. But the weapon died. The galaxy lived. When we returned to the conclave, the atmosphere had changed. Queen Velith took her seat. Then, deliberately, placed her hand on my shoulder. A public gesture. A declaration. Let it be recorded, she said, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber, that humanity does not shrink from the darkness. They walk into it and bring light back with them. The conclave erupted not in fear, but in applause. Later, as stars drifted quietly beyond the gallery, she sat beside me once more. They told you not to go near me, she said. I know. You did anyway. I met her gaze. You chose the seat. Her eyes softened. Yes, she said. I did. And in that moment, I understood. Humanity's greatest strength was never our weapons. It was our willingness to sit beside the unknown and stay.